So at the time that this game takes place, it will only be 1 week away from the Rugby World Cup 2023. In this game, it's a massive one. All Blacks taking on the Springboks, and in this video, we will be trying our absolute best to predict the Springboks starting lineup and reserves for this upcoming game at Twickenham. Now, we did very recently see South Africa take on Wales. They did have themselves a comfortable win, 52 points to 16. We are filming very close to after that game, so due to that, we won't know everyone's injuries extent, whether or not that is someone like a Damian Valimza took a bit of a knock to the head in that last game. But in this one, it is myself, and it is also Tim of Rugbyitch, mate. You would have been happy with the 52 points on the board, wouldn't you?
Yes, I was very happy as a Bok fan. I mean, again, like I said in our pod, we don't see this often, guys. We don't see the Bok scoring as 50 a lot. I'll be honest, I really can't think of the last time we scored 50 above. That's actually a sad thing to think of, but
that can be the quiz in the comments. When was the last time the Springboks got 50 points? Let us know.
Let us know. But no, overall, yeah, I was very happy, obviously, with that performance. But again, we're going to have to definitely take it a step above going into the All Blacks. You know, again, when we faced the All Blacks in that Rugby Championship, they really they were the better team at the end of the day. They were the better team, particularly with an opening 20 minutes. The Boks came back into it, kind of came back into the game, but, All Blacks really held on. But we kind of have to, kind of adjust for this now going into this one. I think the squad that hopefully I've chosen here can, maybe propel them to get that victory this time. And, just help them, a step closer really going into the Rugby World Cup.
Alrighty, well, I may have gone with a little bit more of a rotational squad for this matchup, mainly because I don't want to see any injuries before we get to that Rugby World Cup in France. Yeah. Although there are still some very good players in my starting side. But for yourself, front row, who have you gone with?
Well, like I said, I've gone with a very strong squad here, guys. So I've gone with what I believe is probably the best, kind of front row for the Boks. So I've gone with the likes of, Stephen Kitsoff, number 1, Malcolm Marks, number 2, and Frans Malherbe at number 3. I just think it's just the tight and trusty really of this Boks squad in terms of that front row. And yeah, that's my front row.
Well, I've gone with the exact same thing. Kitsoff and Frans Malherbe. They were working brilliantly in that game up against Wales. Any scrum was solid as, and I feel like in this game up against the All Blacks, it's going to be a nice tester for them, whether or not the All Blacks go with maybe Ethan de Groot and Tyrell Lomax, their usual props that they will look to use in that Rugby World Cup. I feel like the scrums will be a great battle. Malcolm Marks scoring the first try of that game up against the Welsh. Not off a rolling maul, though, which was quite awesome for Malcolm Marks, but we are of that same mindset at the moment, which seems to be Marks in the starting side, and then Umbanambi coming off the bench. But looking through now at the locking duo. In the last game, it was Jean Klein at number 4, and RG Snyman was slotting in as the number 5. I've made a little bit of a change here. Number 4, Eben Etzebeth. We didn't get to see him in that last game, so I assume that they will try and rotate the team just a little bit, give him a bit of a crack. And then number 5, I have actually stuck with RG Snyman. The reason I've done that is because I feel like having him and Etzebeth as a combination that builds a bit more chemistry wouldn't exactly be a bad thing. They may look at Marvin Oree, though, as that possible option, maybe at number 5. I think that this could be a game that even though they're facing the All Blacks, they kind of have to look at it as another warm-up game, which can be tricky to do because, of course, both of these sides want to win this game heading towards that Rugby World Cup for momentum. But you also don't want to take too many risks here, which is why I believe that quite a few players may end up getting subbed at around that 40 or 50 minute mark throughout the game, just to make sure that they're fresh heading forward towards France. So for yourself, you don't look happy, but who have you got in your lock and duo?
I was just thinking, because you have to also remember the All Blacks, this would be kind of their only warm-up game going into this. So they're going to be, in my opinion, they're going to go with their best squads. I just think you got to kind of challenge them in that sense. That's the reason why I guess I've gone with the strong squad. But hey, you could be right. You could be completely right with this. And I'm just very stupid making this prediction. But but no, in terms of my locks, I've also gone for the likes of Eben Etzebeth as well as RJ Snyman. I just think it's the two you have to go with in this situation, build up that chemistry. And it's probably the two they'll probably go with now, I'd say, in terms of locking pairing, just because, with Lord Diego obviously out now, it just doesn't, I don't think he'll be available for this Rugby World Cup, guys. So I think in terms of the locks available that the Boks should choose, I think that's probably the two I'd go with in terms of that starting position.
Okay, so now we move on to the loose forward trio. We saw the return of Sia Khaleesi at number 6 in that game up against Wales, got himself an assist, although did only play for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, is he who you've gone with at number 6, or have you given someone else that chance?
No, I've given it to him. I just feel like you for him in particular, because he's coming back from injury, you want to give him more minutes as it goes. And I think, like, again, maybe he doesn't play the full game, but he'll get at least an extension to what he had on that previous game. So he'll get to at least like the 60th mark, to say the least. Maybe that's kind of where they may sub him off then. But yeah, no, he's my number 6 for sure. I've also gone with Peter Steptoe here. I just think you got to really just had a good performance against the Welsh. I just think he can kind of carry that on once more against the All Blacks. And again, from number 8, I've actually gone with Dwayne Vermeulen here instead of Jasper Wiese. It's a big call, but again, the reason behind my decision here is because when the All Blacks and Boks played in that first game, actually in the Rugby Championship, we saw Jasper Wiese start, and it didn't seem like he had. When you look back at it now, it didn't seem like the right move to do that because he kind of had cold hands really going into the game and just was kind of off, to be perfectly honest. Again, he kind of growed into it as time went by, but there wasn't really much you could do. So I feel like maybe it's better to go with Dwayne Vermeulen to start off with, and then maybe Jasper Wiese to come off the bench. Maybe that's the way they do it. But I think for this one, yeah, Dwayne Vermeulen, he's experienced. Yeah, he's a great player to watch, and yeah, he's my number 8.
Okay, so just making the one change there in the loose forward trio of Dwayne Vermeulen. For myself, number 6, I have once again given Sia Khaleesi another chance just to make sure that he is well and truly in form heading into that first game up against Scotland, which I believe he will be starting in, which is why they'll want to make him as fresh as they can getting into that match. Number 7, I have not gone with Peter Steptoe. Instead, I've given it to Quagga Smith for this match. I know. It's a bit of a risky one, isn't it? But I feel like Quagga Smith, to be honest, with the fact that he didn't play in that last game, they may look to just give a bit more time to some of these other players who haven't had much of a crack, and perhaps they go with Peter Steptoe off the bench instead. And then number 8, I have actually gone with Dwayne Vermeulen as well. Jasper Wiese so far throughout 2023 just hasn't quite been the same as we've seen him in the past, I feel. And at the moment, I think Dwayne Vermeulen has got a good thing going. So if it isn't broke, don't fix it and keep that man in form ready for the World Cup. But now we move on to the 9-10 combination. I've made one change. Cobus Reinach, my starting 9.
Ooh,
now that is a big one too.
I like that.
At the end of the day, they've got 4 halfbacks. They've got Hendrickse, they've got Reinach, they've got Williams, they've got de Klerk. De Klerk is going to France. That is one that is definitely confirmed.
I can't wait to see all these wigs in the Rugby World Cup, because there's going to be so many people with a flat de Klerk hair. There has to be. But maybe I'll do that. Maybe I should do that. Oh,
how many likes does this video have to get for you to go to the Rugby World Cup and wear a wig with Fluff de Klerk's hair?
Oh my gosh. I'll get my dad involved as well. We'll both.
You got a number?
We get 150.
150 likes.
Yeah, 150 likes. I'll make sure that we somehow get the flat de Klerk hair. I can't promise it because I'll have to get my dad to bring it, but we'll see if he lives up to that promise. But yeah, 150 likes, guys, and I'll try to make it happen.
That'll be a fun conversation with your dad, won't it?
Oh, no. He'll love that.
What do you want me to bring? Just a Fluff de Klerk wig. That's all I need, really. Yeah, Cobus Reinach, going to be my 9. With so many options at halfback, they may look to take one of them away if Andre Pollard is somehow match fit, which a lot of rumours are saying that he might be. So they're going to have to pick maybe one of those guys to drop, which is why I'm giving Reinach the opportunity at number 9 to try and prove why he should be one of the 3 who do make their way to the World Cup. Number 10, I've stuck with Manie Libbok. His kicking tee is something that has let him down a little bit, of course, and that is why a lot of people are saying he shouldn't be the fly half, but I feel that his overall game has been very strong, whether that is the passing or those cross kicks. They seem to be working well for South Africa, and, maybe he's one of those reasons that they are actually scoring more tries in games lately, but I think that kicking tee-wise, yes, it's a risk with him not being in the best form, but the only way to find form off the kicking tee is to have match day experience.
Exactly.
And that's why I've given Manie Libbok that 10.
No, I like it. I like it a lot. I mean, I just had a funny feeling that, with the 4 scrum halves involved, they can even put, Faf de Klerk as the number 10 for this game. You never know. You never know. But no, for me, I've actually put Faf de Klerk as the number 9 because, that's where he plays, guys. But, hey, it would be pretty funny to see, Grant Williams or Jed Hengst at the 9 and him at 10. Gosh, that would be kind of the 2 small guys going. That'd be cool. be cool to see. But no, I'm going with the Kirk there. And then, yeah, same as you, going with Matty LeBelk at the number 10. You got to give him another time, just get those minutes in. And hopefully he's kicking, on the day, he's solid, hoping that happens.
Righty, so now we move on to the centres. We did see Jesse Creel really light the world on fire in that game up against Wales. Got himself 2 tries, played a tremendous game of rugby, and with Lukhanyo out, a lot of people now going, okay, we've got security. We've got Jesse Creel. He's there and he can help us. So the question is, did you stick with him at number 13, or did you decide to get fancy and try and rotate the team a little bit more?
No, I was impressed, and I'm giving him a number term. So I'm going Dylan Delande at number 12, and by the way, he was brilliant in the Welsh game. Inside joke there. Go watch the pod, guys, to understand that. But for the 13, I have gone with the likes of Jesse Creel. You got to. It's just he was brilliant. I mean, look, with Lukhanyo out now, you got to go with him. I think again, we could go with Andre Esterhuizen, but I just think he's someone. I mean, he could play in this game. At the end of the day, he actually could play in this game. I just feel like I just want to see that combination once more, really. But what about yourself? What did you go with there?
Number 12, Andre Esterhuizen. Gave him the chance.
He's actually done it.
I had to. I said on the podcast that I felt like Damien Dialende was one of the more quiet men in that backline. You having a heart attack?
This is brilliant. No, I'm just laughing. This is brilliant. I love this.
Andre, though, I feel like Andre Esterhuizen, he could be a good option at inside centre. Linking up with Jesse Creel, they may need that combination. What if Damien Dialende gets injured in the first game of the Rugby World Cup? They have to find that next combination. And yeah, Andre Esterhuizen, I feel like he hasn't really done too much wrong. Yes, he wasn't as impactful in the last game that he played as he was in that very first game up against Australia, but up against the All Blacks, I think it's going to be a great test for him to see where exactly he does sit in terms of that inside centre role. And then at number 13, I have also stuck with Jesse Creel. Decided that he did enough, that I want to see that combination. I pretty much said that when I said I wanted to see Andre Esterhuizen and Creel together, but now we move on to the outside backs. Number 11, Makazole Mapimpi. I feel like they'll give him the game before heading to this Rugby World Cup. He needs to keep that form rolling that he hasn't really quite got yet, but he needs it back, and he needs to be firing on all cylinders for the World Cup. Number 14, Kurtley Arinsa. I'll be honest, Tim, I'm making a lot of changes here, and I feel like it's a little bit rough. I am sleep deprived, so maybe there's something that is something to do with it.
Headspace right there.
Yeah, been up for a long time, but
guys, just don't get him in the comments. He's just very tired. That's all it is, guys. That's all it is.
Yeah, this is where we find out I have 100%, and everyone's like, "Hang on, are the coaches also tired?" Yeah. But Kurtley Arinsa, number 14, I wanted to have him in this game. Sadly, I couldn't play him and Makazole Mapimpi in the same jersey. I don't think they're quite fit. So he is out on the right wing for this game up against the ABs. And then number 15, I've gone with Willie LaRue once again. It might be a little bit of a risk, but Damien Willemse may still not be 100% after taking that head knock. So I've actually gone on the side of caution and not put him in my 23-man side.
Oh, okay.
For Damien Willemse, just because I felt like he took a pretty hard knock and maybe he won't be all right for that next one.
So, yeah.
Nice. So who have you got as the back three? Obviously not Damien Willemse.
Yes. But no, for the number 11, I've actually gone with the ball. Well, not the ball call, but just really more of the guy in form. I've gone with the likes of Kurtley Arinsa, the number 11 jersey, because that's where he's played mostly and where he's done pretty well, I'd say. Number 14, I have stuck with less with Cheslin Kobe. He was just he's sidestepping his way through every player in the Welsh defense, really. So I want to see more of that, particularly against the All Blacks. And then of course, for number 15, you have to stick with Willie LaRue. I was actually considering maybe even doing Cheslin Kobe as a 15 and putting Kenan Moody as the 14, but I don't know. Maybe that's too much of. Maybe that's just too. There's not a lot of height in that sense, and I feel like the All Blacks will go again for that long high kick in the air. And I think you want a high ball in the air. The more I think about it now, Mapimpi actually may be a good shout, but no, I've got to stick with my backlines. So that's the three I've selected.
Okay, so now we move on to the reserves. 6-2 split once again.
No, I actually have gone with 5-3. Yeah, it's the first time in a while, but for the team I had to go with, I've gone with 5-3.
Okay, I had to go with 6-2 because I almost ran out of backs with the way that I put them in my starting lineup. But front row replacements, who have you got?
Yeah, so I'm actually going the likes of Bongi Manomi, pretty simple there, pretty standard in terms of the 16 jersey. Number 17, I'm going with Oxen Che. I thought he did pretty well, within that Welsh game, coming off the bench. So giving him another opportunity here. And then, Vincent Cocker. So again, pretty much what we saw in that Welsh game. Just going to have that once more, but within this one.
Righty, so I have got just the one change there. Bongi Manumbi at 16, I have stuck with. Number 17, I actually went with Trevor Nakanye. Just because they may look to only give Oxnashea one game and then maybe build him back in throughout that World Cup. I just feel like with so many players just returning from injury, one of them may miss out in this game, and I don't know if it will be Khaleesi or if it's Oxnashea or who it will be that they decide to just rest that little bit longer.
Yeah,
Number 18, though, I did actually stick with Vincent Koch. I was heavily considering Thomas Tatoy. In fact, he's not even with the team, is he? He missed out. So that's a joke. Haha, got you. So I went with Vincent Koch. He seemed like the best option overall. The number 18 jersey. Looking at the rest of the forward replacements. Marvin O'Ree is my number 19. I decided to give him the chance, leaving Jean Klein out. Also, no Franco Mostert for myself. Number 20. I went with Mako van Staden because I feel like he is the straight replacement for Sia Khaleesi. And then number 21, I've given it to Jasper Wiese just because he still needs to find that form and he's not going to do that by not playing. So I had to give him a chance somewhere in the side.
Yeah, I mean, for me, again, because I've gone with a 5-3 here, I haven't gone with the 6-2, so I have one less forward to choose from him. But for me, I've gone with the likes of Franco Mostert in terms of number 19, because again, he can cover that lock or the 6 or even 7 if needed to. So he's just very versatile in that sense. And then I've also gone with the likes of Quagga Smith here, because I think he can be a replacement really for Peter the Toit there. Or if you even have to, you can maybe be the replacement for Dwayne Vermeulen. You never know. Quagga Smith at 8. I mean, he's a future 8. You never know. You never know. But yeah, that's the two. That's the two forwards there I've selected.
Alrighty, so now we move on to the back replacements. Now you have 3 compared to my 2.
Indeed.
I'll let you go first. Who have you got as that replacement halfback? You've got 4 options.
Exactly.
Who's the one that you're going with?
I'm actually going to go with David Williams as my fly. No.
Good choice.
That's a good choice. Good choice. But no, I'm actually going with Jaden Hendrickson here as my backup scrum half. I just think, why not give him a go? Again, with these, I could go. You know what? Actually, scrap that. I'm actually going to make a last minute decision right here. I'm going to scrap Jaden Hendrickson. I actually liked your pick. I'm going to go with Cobus Swank here. Cobus Swank off the bench.
Jaden, he's just come back, and now you're going to take him out of the team again.
Off the bench, because I just liked it when you said it. You convinced me the way you said it in your starting lineup. So I'm putting him now on my bench because I haven't picked him in a long time actually. So I want to go with him there. And then number 22, I'm also going to go with Andreas Days in here. This is where I do select him because I just think he's good cover in terms of that. Obviously center position. And if you have to, you can obviously shift Jesse Curl towards the wing. And then for the last position, I would normally put Damien Williamson here, but again, we're kind of considering that he may be injured, so I haven't selected him. So in this case, this is where I'm actually going with Caden Moody here. So I just thought he was pretty impressive throughout that Welsh game. So why not give him a few minutes within this one?
I like your bench a lot better than mine. I have to say, I feel like I might have butchered.
I'm going to be very surprised with this, I think, for what you've selected. Okay, let's hear it.
So, I mean, my next 2 are stock standard. Number 22, Faf de Klerk, come onto the field later on in the game and try and get that high ball going with a few other tactics that the Springboks may look to use late. And then Caden Moody, my number 23. But I just feel like having Andre Estesen off the bench, with you saying that, having him as the extra back cover and then also Caden Moody as well, I feel like that works a lot better than not having that. So we'll see how they go. Of course, the Springboks may throw an absolute curveball and go with a right mixture of both, and we have no idea how they've come up with their team. But we hope that we're close. The good news is we could get the first 5 right.
That would be good. That would be pretty nice if we got that right at least. But we'll have to wait and see.
And nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning into this one. Be sure to check out Rugbyitch's YouTube channel alongside the Rugby Recap podcast channel, where we do weekly podcasts talking all about the international rugby, including the Rugby World Cup, which is coming up just around the corner. But thank you all very much for tuning in. Do let us know your prediction for the Springboks lineups in the comments down below. We will see you all for the next one.